My beloved child, congratulations. Yes, receive these words with trembling and hope, because I speak them over you now. Congratulations. Not for a finish line you can clearly see yet, not for a trophy in your hands, but for a shift already set in motion, a door already turned on its hinges in the realm your eyes cannot yet measure. I know you are weary. I know your heart says, nothing has changed. I still feel the same. My situation still looks the same. I hear the quiet ache inside you that whispers each night, Lord, is anything moving for me at all? My dear one, I have come close to answer you. What I have begun in heaven is already underway, and your eyes are simply catching up to what I have moved. My child, you measure by what you can touch. I measure by the seed placed, the decree signed, the roots spreading under the dark soil. You look for fruit on the branches. I have been strengthening the trunk that must carry the fruit in its due time. You scan the horizon for the sunrise. I am already stirring the first faint light at the edge of the world, where night begins to loosen its grip. Do not despise the unseen beginning. Do not call it nothing. Everything great in my kingdom is conceived in stillness, hidden and holy before it becomes loud and visible. You have said, but I still feel the same. I know, feelings are waves that rise and fall. I am the shore that does not move. But my bank account looks the same. I know, provision flows by paths you cannot yet trace. But my relationships look the same. I know. I am sifting quietly and purifying your circle beneath the surface. But my body still hurts. I know the places that throb in the night and the rooms where fear tries to speak. Hear me, my beloved child. My silence never means my absence. When you thought I was doing nothing, I was doing the most important things, protecting you, preparing the path, and positioning you where the blessing will not crush you. This is not a random moment on a random screen. I scheduled this conversation with you. I drew you to this exact place in this exact hour. I am reaching through the noise and placing my hand on your shoulder. Breathe. Be still. Let my words wash the dust from your eyes. You have not been overlooked. You have not missed it. You are not behind. You are stepping into what I already spoke over you, and I am teaching your heart to walk by my voice when your eyes see little and your feelings offer no help at all. My beloved child, I call it congratulations because I watched you when no one else was watching. I saw you hold your tongue when slander pulled at you. I counted every tear that slipped quietly into your pillow when the room was dark and you asked me if I still remember your name. I saw you return to me when you were tempted to run. I saw you choose integrity when shortcuts glittered like easy roads. Those moments were not wasted. They were the turning of the key in a lock you could not see. That is why I am saying, well done, begin again with courage, because the door has started to open from the inside out. There is an order to my ways. Heaven moves first, earth responds later. Life begins in the womb before a cry is ever heard. Foundations are poured before walls are raised. Roots anchor before flowers appear. Do not misread the quiet as failure. What you call delay, I often call preservation. What you call stuck, I call steadying. I do not hide you to forget you. I hide you to grow you, to keep you under the shadow of my wings, until the time of unveiling is safe, and the weight of blessing will not make you fall. Listen to me. I am not playing with your heart. I am not dangling hope like a carrot that mocks your hunger. I am Father, I am faithful, I am near. I am examining whether you will still trust me when you no longer feel anything at all, not to shame you, but to strengthen you, because what I am bringing to you must be carried by a heart that can remain steady in storm and in sunshine. My dear one, true faith is not measured by the noise of celebration, but by the whisper that says yes in the silence. You have asked me for a sign, I am giving you my word now. Let it be the sign that shifts how you hold this season. My silence never means my absence. Etch that into your memory. Carry it as you wake and as you lie down. When the hours feel long, say it back to me. When your mind tries to race ahead or sink beneath waves of fear, say it again. I am here. I have been here. I will be here when the visible finally matches the invisible I have already arranged. Stay with me now, all the way to the end, because before we close, I will lead you in a confirming prayer, and I will speak a final declaration over your season, a word not meant to tease your hope, but to lock your faith into place like a seal. Do not rush away from the table I have set. Remain with me and receive every piece I intend to place into your hands. The shift has begun, my beloved child. What I have ordered is moving toward you even now. Walk with me, and you will watch your story catch up to heaven's decree. My beloved child, lean close and hear me. The beginning you cannot see is still a beginning. In my kingdom, life starts beneath the surface. I build root before I reveal fruit. I lay foundation before I raise a visible frame. I breathe into what is formless before it takes a shape that satisfies the eyes of people. You look at the field and you call it empty, but under the soil there is a quiet war of life, breaking hard shells, pushing tender shoots through darkness toward light. Do not call that war nothing. Do not dismiss the quiet as failure. Heaven has moved. Earth is still turning to face what I have already spoken. As the scriptures teach, faith is confidence in what you hope for and a settled assurance about realities you cannot yet see. This is not poetry to soothe you. It is the law of my ways. In the throne room I speak, I sign, I release. I send my word like rain, and it does not return to me empty. Often the first evidence is not loud or public or shareable. It is a change in your inner weather, an unusual peace where there should be panic, a hunger to pray that visits you at inconvenient hours, a holy discomfort with old patterns that once felt like home, but now pinch at your spirit like shoes too small. These are not random mood swings. These are the first fruits of an unseen beginning. My child, hear me carefully. I am not postponing you. I am positioning you. Delay is a word you have used, but I call it sequence. There is order in me. Seed time and harvest, evening and morning, water before wine. If you tried to climb to fruit without root, the weight of success would snap what you are standing on. So I hold you close under the shadow of my wings. I steady your steps. I guide you away from platforms that would applaud you before your heart can survive applause. This is not punishment, it is protection. This is not rejection, it is preservation. You say, but it is so quiet. Yes, and I am the architect at work while the city sleeps. In the quiet, I pour the concrete of your convictions. In the quiet, I pull out old nails of compromise. I sand rough edges that would snag other souls later. I measure twice, so you do not have to relive old collapses. You call the construction zone unglamorous. I call it holy. When I hid David in the pastures, I was not wasting him. I was teaching his hands to war and his heart to sing so a crown would not become an idol. When I tucked Joseph away in places no one volunteered to be, I was positioning him where the doors to nations could swing on his steadiness. When Moses came into the cleft of the rock, he thought it was a narrow place. I called it the safest place to show my glory. So it is with you. Look for the subtle indicators I have been sending as quiet announcements of my movement. That sudden weariness with shallow conversations that once felt entertaining, that is me refining your appetite. That nudging to delete numbers, to step back from rooms where your spirit shrinks, that is me purifying your circle. That closed door that made you cry but kept you from signing a partnership that would have drained you. That is me intercepting a disaster you could not see. That recurring whisper to rise early, to open the scriptures, to listen without hurrying on. That is the wind at your back, my spirit teaching you to sail. That moment last week when anxiety surged and then, without cause, a deep calm settled over you. That is a banner I am raising over your mind. Do not misread these as coincidences. They are footprints of heaven showing up ahead of earth's announcement. I know there is a part of you that feels anxious when nothing looks different. You wonder, am I stuck? Did I miss my turn? My dear one, if you are in my hands, you are never late. I am aligning pieces you cannot yet name. I am softening hearts that will one day favor you. I am weakening walls that would have resisted you. I am summoning resources from strange places. What looks slow is often me preventing you from inheriting burdens I never assigned to you. If I kept a door closed, it is because what waited behind it would have lured you away from me. If I kept you quiet, it is because the crowd would have crowned you for a version of you that was not yet true. Be careful with your measuring tools. You measure by applause, by deposits, by messages returned. I measure by obedience, by integrity when no one is looking, by your willingness to let go when I whisper, let it go. Faith is not you building a case with your eyes. Faith is you resting your weight on my word. If I have called you blessed, you are blessed before people believe it. If I have named you my heir, you wear that identity, even when your clothes are threadbare. If in my courts I have signed my name over your portion, who can erase it? Heaven has already moved, and earth is learning to agree. Do not uproot the seed to check if it is alive. Do not keep digging in the same soil, anxious, wondering whether anything is happening. You will wound what I am growing. Water it with prayer. Guard it with your tongue. Speak life over what I have begun, even when your feelings suggest otherwise. Say it back to me. Your silence never means your absence. Say it in the kitchen, in the hallway at work, on the drive home, in the long night. This is how you partner with the invisible, by agreement, by small obediences, by not abandoning your post simply because you do not yet hear the trumpet. I am teaching you to act like the breakthrough is real because in heaven it already is. What does that look like? It looks like tidying the room where the promise will live. It looks like setting aside what will distract you when increase arrives. It looks like reconciling promptly, paying what you owe, cleaning your accounts and your conscience, because favor flows best on clear channels. It looks like forgiving the ones who wounded you, so yesterday's pain does not poison tomorrow's influence. It looks like continuing to show up in the secret place when you feel nothing, because I am rewriting your reflex from panic to prayer. You thought nothing was happening because it was quiet. But quiet is where I construct what will one day look sudden to others. They will call it overnight. You and I will know it was years of hiddenness, tears collected, choices made in rooms with no cameras, yes after yes when no one cheered. And when earth finally catches up, it will not be because you pushed harder, but because you stayed near. I am not postponing you. I am positioning you. I am not teasing you. I am training you. My beloved child, trust the order of my ways. Let the roots go deep while no one applauds, for soon the fruit will hang heavy enough that no one will be able to deny what I have done. My beloved child, lean into me and listen. I counted every tear. Not one fell without my notice. Not one dried on your cheek without my hand near to catch it. I saw you sit with your phone in your hand, staring at the unanswered message, watching the bubbles that never appeared, hoping for a reply that did not come. I saw you rehearse what you would say if they finally answered, then swallow your words when silence stayed. I watched you open that bill with a knot in your stomach and the quiet prayer you whispered, "Please, Lord, not this month." And I was nearer to you in that moment than your pulse in your wrist. I noticed the terror that flickered beneath your smile when an old habit came knocking, the fear of relapse that tried to tell you your freedom was fragile. I sat with you on the nights when the house felt too loud with quiet, when the space beside you felt like an accusation, when you scrolled past celebrations that stabbed you with comparison, each picture a sentence that whispered, "Still not there yet." I heard the question you never wanted to say out loud: "What is wrong with me?" My dear one, nothing about you is hidden from me, and I neither flinch at your pain nor turn away from your questions. I am here. I have been near you when you could not feel me. My silence never means my absence. There in the kitchen with the overdue notice spread like a storm on the table. There under the covers when shame tried to crawl over your heart and name you behind. There in the parking lot with your forehead on the steering wheel and tears slipping fast because you were so tired of being strong. I was closer than your breath. You did not feel my warmth, and so you suspected I had stepped back. But my child, I was holding you steady when you thought you were holding yourself. I cushioned what could have crushed you. I filtered what tried to flood you. When you said, "I can't anymore," I did not condemn you. I wrapped your surrender in my strength. The ache you have carried has not been wasted. Your waiting has not been a barren desert. It has been a school of wisdom. Disappointments have served as sacred data, revealing what your heart trusted without you even knowing it. When a door shut, the fear it provoked told you where your confidence had been resting. When someone ignored your message, the sting unveiled how much you longed to be validated by voices that cannot define you. When the money felt thin, the panic revealed whether you saw me as provider or as a backup plan. This is not to shame you, it is to set you free. I let these mirrors stand in front of you so you could see, not to humiliate, but to heal. I am teaching you to lean your full weight on my word rather than on constant proof, to need my voice more than you need the crowd, to be satisfied by my presence more than by rapid results. Do not curse the classroom simply because it felt like a wilderness. Waiting is where I skim the dross from the gold, where I separate what is precious from what is passing. In the long nights, you learn to pray beyond your feelings. In the slow months, you learn to choose integrity over shortcuts that promised quick relief. In the quiet, you learned that comparison is a thief and that gratitude opens gates no network can open. You discovered that the applause you imagined would heal. You would only make you hungrier if it came before identity was settled. You learned to say, "Even here, you are enough for me." And that confession has more power than 10,000 perfect plans. My child, I correct you gently now. Stop blaming yourself as if I have been punishing you. This is not punishment, it is protection. I am Father, not a taskmaster. I do not dangle goodness in front of you and yank it away to watch you ache. When I disciplined your pace, it was because haste would have injured you. When I kept you in a smaller room, it was because the larger room would have fed your pride while starving your soul. When I allowed people to misunderstand you, it was to free you from being addicted to their understanding. When shame tried to name you still not there yet, I was whispering over you, already mine. I am not indifferent to your story. I am the author who is unwilling to rush an ending that will not endure. You have said, "If you loved me, wouldn't it have happened by now?" Hear me. Love is exactly why I slowed you down. Love is why I kept you from partnerships that would have turned your heart into a marketplace. Love is why I closed doors that would have crowned you too soon and cursed you later. Love is why I sat with you in the back row and taught you the holy art of being content when the stage called your name. I do not simply mend your past. I rewrite the meaning of it. Those lonely nights are becoming oil that will soothe others. Those unanswered texts are becoming discernment that will spare you from entanglements that drain. Those bills that humbled you are becoming stewardship that will guard you when increase flows. Your tears have been watering a wisdom that cannot be learned from books. It must be learned from leaning. Let me tell you what I have been doing while you waited. I have been softening your reflexes so that you do not snap when you are squeezed. I have been enlarging your capacity so you do not call overflow overwhelm. I have been healing your need to constantly check how you are doing by the mirror of everyone else's life. I have been purifying your appetites, so when abundance comes, you will not confuse lavish with holy, attention with anointing, platform with purpose. You are not falling behind. You are forming within. You are not stuck. You are being steadied. The measure I use is not speed, but likeness. Are you learning my heart, my ways, my patience, my gentleness intertwined with holy fire? Yes, you are, even when you cannot perceive it in yourself. Take a breath now, my beloved child. Let the shame slide from your shoulders. Put your hand over your heart and hear me say it again. I counted every tear. I have recorded your sighs as prayers. I will not waste one drop of your pain. Even your relapses of fear have become opportunities where I taught you to run to me faster, to call my name sooner, to recognize the smell of the trap before your foot is caught. You are learning to hear the difference between flattery and favor, between a door I open and a doorway others push you toward. This is wisdom, and it will keep you safe when the river of blessing begins to rise. And hear this soberly. My comfort is not a permission slip to grow passive. My embrace is not an excuse to drift. I am healing you so you can hold what is coming without it holding you. I am not removing urgency. I am aligning it. Now that you know I have been near, now that you see your waiting has been making you wise, we must speak of why I kept certain doors closed. Hiddenness is not rejection. It is my shield. What I grow in you must not be miscarried by premature exposure. Stay with me, and I will show you how my covering has guarded your calling, and how to steward what is about to appear without losing the tenderness we have forged in the quiet. My beloved child, listen to me with your whole heart. I kept the door closed on purpose. You called it abandonment, but I was covering you under the shadow of my wings. You named it rejection, but it was a shield stretched over a calling still in the womb. I drew the curtain, not to starve your hope, but to shelter what was not yet ready for the weight of crowds and the prying gaze of people. I saw things you could not see, thin threads of compromise that would have snapped under pressure, hidden hungers that praise would have fed into pride, faces smiling at you with hands that would have quietly rearranged your foundations. So I hid you. I placed you in a quiet corner where my voice could be louder than every other voice, and I let the room remain small so your heart could grow large without swelling. Hiddenness is my shield. There are seasons when I deliberately keep you out of sight, when I wrap you in a gentle mist so that envy loses your scent and sabotage cannot track your steps. You wanted the quick unveiling. I wanted longevity. You asked for applause. I offered anonymity long enough to heal motives that applause would have disfigured. My child, I have watched many rise too quickly. They mistake flattery for favor. They confuse exposure with authority. They sign agreements with people who want access without covenant, people who will draw from your oil but will not kneel with you to buy their own. I will not let that be your story. I will not watch your calling be miscarried by premature exposure. Consider Joseph. Prison felt like a pause, like a cruel delay, but it was positioning. In places beneath public notice, I trained his discernment to read dreams correctly. I threaded humility into his leadership so the palace would not own his heart. Had he been released on his own schedule, he would have entered rooms without the language to steward nations. And David, hidden in fields that did not look like destiny, forgotten by the very house where the prophet stood. There I tuned his ear to my songs and taught his hands to war. The pasture was not punishment, it was formation. The secret place is where I pour oil that will not evaporate under lights. It is where I teach you to listen for whispers that will guide you when the roar of attention tries to drown you out. What grows in stillness survives in storms. What is formed in obscurity carries a fragrance that cannot be manufactured once the doors swing wide. I have shielded you from envy that would have surrounded you like a swarm, compliments with hidden barbs, conversations that start as celebration and end as comparison, invitations with strings braided like ropes to pull you away. I have prevented sabotage that would have smiled at your rise and then dismantled your peace in private. I have put distance between you and counterfeits, partnerships that glittered but lacked my breath, platforms that promised quick reach but would have reached into your soul and taxed it beyond health. I have kept you from rooms where they would have wanted your gift, but not honored your boundaries, where they would have used your name but ignored your nature, where access would have been demanded and covenant despised. My protection has sometimes looked like delay. It has always been love. To you, it felt like being overlooked. To the enemy, it felt like losing track of you. I tucked you into the cleft of the rock, like I have done with my beloved before, so that glory could pass by without crushing you. I measured your frame in the shadows so that, when light comes, you are not startled into panic or seduced into pretense. I whispered correction where no one could applaud you for receiving it. I taught you to choose character when no one would congratulate you, to guard your tongue when slander tried to bait you, to prefer my approval when human approval dangled like baited hooks. This is my kindness. I do not place crowns on heads that cannot survive them. I shape hearts fit for holy weight. Do not despise the disciplines of the secret place. There I refine how you handle silence, how you metabolize praise, how you rest when there is still much to be done. There I show you which doors are assignments and which are traps. I teach you the difference between my peace and the adrenaline of opportunity. In hiddenness, I fix your reflex. When pressure mounts, you return to prayer, not performance. When lack whispers, you lean into trust, not hustle. When attention comes, you bend low, not higher. I prune your circle in the quiet, so that leeches do not attach when the river starts to rise. I purify your appetites so attention will not taste like anointing, and luxury will not feel like calling. My child, this is not a small thing. This is safety. This is you learning to breathe under blessing. Hear me now, because the breakthrough has begun in the unseen. The enemy will attempt a counterfeit unveiling. He will try to rush you past my timing, to bait you with shortcuts, to stir a panic that says, if you do not push now, you will miss it. He will borrow the lips of those who love you to say, why so slow? Why so hidden? Take the offer, post the thing, sign the paper. Who knows when it will come again? He will wave opportunities that feel like urgent storms, but their urgency is not my voice. Do not abandon your post. Do not publish what I asked you to ponder. Do not reattach what I have cut away, simply because loneliness flares for a day. If you leave your place, the blessing will come and not find you where I told you to wait. When the pressure rises, return to the secret place. Let that be your address. Speak to me before you reply. Ask me, is this covenant or craving? Is this assignment or bait? I will answer you. I will give you a holy reluctance when the door is wrong and a quiet courage when the door is mine. I am not hiding you forever. I am hiding you until your roots are deep enough that winds cannot uproot you, until your identity is sealed enough that applause cannot rename you, until your discernment is sharp enough to distinguish friends from fans and partners from parasites, until the people assigned to you are ready to receive you without trying to mold you into their image. My beloved child, I am the one who opens and no one can shut. and who shuts and no one can open. When I held the handle, it was mercy. When I swing it wide, it will be safety. Do not tug at what I have locked. Lift your hands in surrender and let me time the unveiling. Soon, very soon, earth will catch up to what I have decreed. But hear this soberly and hold it close. As the light begins to grow, the enemy will target the last stretch. He will throw noise at your soul and call it guidance. He will make weariness feel like wisdom and compromise feel like compassion. Do not be deceived. Stay at your post. Cling to my whisper. The hidden season has been your shield. It has kept your calling from miscarriage. Keep your heart under my covering, and you will walk out of this quiet, not inflated, but grounded, not frantic, but faithful, carrying a weight that will not crush you because we forged it together in the stillness. My beloved child, listen closely now. You are nearer than you think. The darkness fights the fiercest in the last 5 minutes before dawn. The enemy cannot unsign what I have signed in the courts of heaven. He cannot unwrite what I have written over your life. So he does what he has always done. He wages war against your endurance. He aims to exhaust your hope, to thin your attention, to lure you from the watchtower I placed you on, so that when the release arrives, it will not find you standing where I told you to wait. Do not abandon your post. Do not hand over your place through weariness, dressed up as wisdom. The intensity you feel is not proof that I have forgotten you. It is a signal that the gate is near. Hear the pattern and learn it so you are not deceived. When a release approaches, resistance rises, not because the resistance is stronger than my decree, but because pressure reveals your posture. The enemy knows he cannot lock what I am opening, so he tries to move you out of agreement. He loads your mind with whispers that sound like your own thoughts. What's the point? Maybe it's better to settle. Maybe I misheard. He nudges you toward just this once. Compromises that seem small enough to excuse, tiny enough to hide. But each one loosens your grip on the very rope pulling you into the next season. He is patient in the wrong way. He ties down giants with thin threads. One scroll, one sigh, one skipped prayer, one reopened door at a time, until you feel too tangled to rise. Look at the snares and call them by their names, so they lose their disguise. Numbness that you mistook for maturity, where you stop feeling to avoid hurting, where you call apathy peace, so you can justify shutting down. Cynicism that parades as discernment, where you believe you are wise because you expect disappointment, where you preemptively distrust so you can say you never hoped. Scrolling that becomes a quiet addiction, the glowing escape you run to instead of running to me, where 5 minutes turn into 50 and your heart grows drowsy while your to-do remains untouched. Small compromises that you tell yourself are not a big deal. Late-night messages to the very person I asked you to release. Cutting corners at work because no one will know. Shading the truth to protect your image. Letting your eyes linger where I told you to look away. Saying, I'll pray tomorrow. And making tomorrow your idol. And the reattaching of doors I shut. Saving the number you deleted. Refollowing accounts that inflame old wounds. Rejoining circles that shrunk your spirit. Entertaining offers that glow but do not carry my breath, because loneliness pressed on you for a day and you panicked. He also borrows voices. Do not be surprised when the pressure comes through familiar tones. He borrows the lips of those who love you, not to make them enemies, but to plant questions that feel heavier because of who said them. Where is your God? Why are you still waiting? Everyone else is moving. Are you still sure this is God? He wraps fear in counsel and urgency in kindness. He stirs timelines and deadlines as if my purposes are fragile and must be rushed to survive. If you don't take it now, it won't come again. He speaks through comparisons dressed as advice. Look at them. They moved fast, and it worked for them. My child, Be gentle with people and firm with spirits. Love those whose lips he borrows. Do not swallow the questions he plants. We are not wrestling people. We are resisting a voice that wants you to move out of the place of peace I assign to you. Be still. Return to me. Do not negotiate with fear. When the questions grow loud, lower your volume to hear my whisper. Put the phone down. Turn off the noise that keeps your soul from noticing the gentle tug of my spirit. Step outside. Breathe deep and say my name. Let praise cut a pathway where panic tried to lay a road. Bring me your trembling instead of hiding it in distraction. The shield of faith is not a theory. It is the act of raising my word over your feelings like a canopy and standing underneath it until the rain of confusion passes. Remember what the scriptures teach. Do not grow weary in doing good, for there is a due season. Weariness wants to convince you there is no due season. I am telling you, the season has already been ordered. Lift your eyes. Hold your post. Guard your gates in this last stretch. Watch your eyes. What you behold, you begin to want. Watch your ears. Stories soaked in envy steal your gratitude. Watch your mouth. The tongue can align with heaven or echo the serpent. Do not prophesy your own collapse with jokes about quitting. Do not rehearse your fears as if they are facts. Speak back to me what I have spoken to you. Say it out loud in your kitchen, in your car, in the shower. You have signed my portion. Your silence never means your absence. I will not leave my watch. This is not pretending. This is partnering. Agreement is the language of victory in this unseen war. And hear me soberly. The reason the pressure is increasing is because promotion is approaching. New territory means new thresholds, and thresholds are narrow by design. As you step through, what cannot come with you will resist leaving. Old appetites will ask for one last taste. Old narratives will beg for one last hearing. Old alliances will request one last conversation. Do not go back for what I am not carrying forward. If you turn around now, the threshold will not widen to accommodate what I have already pronounced, not for this next chapter. Let go. Look ahead. Walk through. There is another truth you must hold alongside this. Blessing itself is also a test. The enemy knows that if he cannot make you quit before the door opens, he will try to make you drift after it does. He is very skilled at using prosperity to draw hearts away. So he tries to secure his victory early, planting the habits of drift before increase arrives, so that when attention comes, it finds you easy to distract. That is why I have dealt with you strictly in the quiet. That is why I have trained your reflexes now, so that when the river rises, you do not confuse its roar for my voice. We will speak more of this because I love you too much to give you what will destroy you. For now, know that this heat is not to burn you. It is to harden your resolve in righteousness. If your hands are trembling, put them in mine. If your knees are weak, kneel and you will find strength there. If your mind is crowded, pour it out in my presence until only one thing remains: to stay near. Lay your plans on the altar again. Return to the secret place. Choose integrity over immediacy. Choose worship over worry. Choose obedience over optics. Do not count minutes. Count agreements. Every time you choose me over the noise, you notch another mark on the doorframe of your readiness. My beloved child, the night is not forever. Dawn is closer than your feelings suggest. Hold your ground. Keep your lamp trimmed and burning. Do not let numbness masquerade as wisdom or urgency impersonate my voice. The decree stands. I have signed my name over your portion. No one can steal what I have ordained, but you can step away from the place where it will meet you. Do not. Stay with me in these last 5 minutes. Keep watch with me. The release is at the door, and I will walk with you through it. My beloved child, I told you we would speak more of this. Lean in now, because this is where many stumble, not in the valley, but on the hill. Many did not fall in hunger, they fell in abundance. It is not the empty table that most often corrupts the heart, but the table that is full. Consider the kings who began with humility and ended with divided affections. Think of Solomon, who asked me for wisdom at the start, and later let open doors become open altars to other loves. He did not fall in the day of lack. He fell in the day of overflow. Hear me. Success without me is more dangerous than failure ever was. Favor is not harmless. Favor is weight. And weight must rest on a frame that I have strengthened in the secret place, or it will crush what it was sent to lift. I am not only preparing a blessing for you, I am preparing you for a blessing. I am shaping the vessel because the vessel determines the flow. A larger room without a stronger spine turns applause into addiction. More provision without a purified heart turns options into traps. Wider reach without deeper roots turns attention into wind that topples the tree. Therefore I test you now in the things no one sees. Humility in private, obedience when instructions are quiet, purity when compromise would be convenient, dependence when you could impress people by depending on yourself. I am watching how you handle small comforts, how you speak when you are unseen, how you treat those who cannot advance you, how quickly you return to me when you feel strong. These are not hoops to jump through. They are foundations that keep inheritance from becoming an idol. Let us examine the traps of abundance so you will not be taken by surprise when the doors swing open. First, forgetting the secret place. When increase arrives, calendars swell, invitations multiply, screens glow longer, and prayer, which once felt like breath, can start to feel like an appointment you negotiate. Do not forget the altar that carried you here. The secret place is not a pre-success discipline, it is a post-success necessity. If attention gets your mornings and I get your leftovers, your soul will grow thin even as your platform grows thick. Guard your dawn. Tithe your time to intimacy. When resources expand, make the inner room larger, not smaller. Second, chasing applause. Applause is a vapor. It tastes sweet and disappears, but it leaves cravings that grow louder. Abundance will introduce you to new rooms where compliments are currency. If your heart begins to check for itself in people's eyes, you will spend your days editing your obedience to protect your image. You will choose what is shareable over what is sacred. You will post what I asked you to ponder. My child, applause is a poor anesthetic for an unhealed identity. Let praise pass through you like wind through branches. Bow lower. Return the glory quickly. Protect the holy from the hungry. Third, relaxing boundaries. Lack often keeps you safe because you do not have the margin to misbehave. Abundance will hand you options, and options will test your convictions. The lines you drew in prayer can blur under bright lights. Your no can soften into just this once. Late-night conversations you had power to avoid will feel easier to entertain. Travel can numb you into thinking place equals permission. Success will try to negotiate with you. Surely you can loosen this standard. Look how far you've come. Do not let achievement rename sin as strategy. Do not let growth rename gossip as concern. Do not let open doors rename disobedience as networking. Hold your lines. Boundaries are not mistrust of people. They are stewardship of purpose. Fourth, spending without wisdom. Money magnifies math you never learned in the wilderness. If you buy peace instead of pursuing me, you will discover that luxury cannot silence anxiety. It only muffles it for a moment. If you use giving to purchase approval rather than as worship, you will twist my generosity into self-promotion. If you treat increase as proof you can finally ignore process, you will inherit consequences that money cannot pay down. My child, I delight to provide. But provision given without a plan is fuel poured on an uncontained fire. Budget with me. Ask me about pace. Let generosity be obedience-led, not optics-led. Let you be the master of money, not its servant. Fifth, trusting resources more than me. With abundance comes a quiet shift that often goes unnoticed. You consult your account before you consult your God. You measure safety by savings instead of my presence. You depend on your contacts before you kneel. Wise planning is holy, worship of stability is not. If you feel safer with a full schedule than with my stillness, pause. If losing people scares you more than losing me, pause. If withholding what I ask for feels like survival, pause. I trained you in lean seasons so that plenty would not rewire your trust. Keep your hand open, keep your head bowed, keep your ear tuned. Understand the deeper strategy at work. The enemy is very skilled at using prosperity to draw hearts away. He has studied how humans glow under praise, how they sigh with relief when bills are paid, how they loosen their vigilance when rooms open. He would rather wait for your harvest than fight your seed, if he believes you will celebrate your way into compromise. This is why I have set watchmen on your walls, why I have rehearsed with you in the quiet, why I have drilled integrity until it feels like instinct. I am not suspicious of blessing, I invented it. I am not hostile to promotion, I assign it. But I will not give you what will destroy you. Every blessing becomes a sentence of judgment on the heart that mishandles it, either vindicating your trust or exposing your drift. I warn you because I love you. Hear also the language of my court, because it will steady you when doubt agitates your mind. In the throne room I have signed my name over your portion. I have not scribbled it in pencil to erase it under pressure. I have sealed it. No one can litigate it away. But listen carefully. Your stewardship determines the peace you experience within that portion. If you clutch what I asked you to share, your portion will feel heavy. If you enter partnerships I did not sanction, your portion will feel crowded. If you neglect the secret place to run the machinery of success, your portion will feel noisy and thin. What I decree is secure. How you dwell within it depends on your alignment. Agreement brings rest. Presumption brings unrest. Walk softly. Consult me often. Keep short accounts with your own soul. So ask yourself heart questions now before the river rises further. If the applause stopped tomorrow, would you still obey me? If the check arrived larger than you imagined, would you ask me how to use it or spend it to quiet your anxiety? If new faces requested access, would you hand them keys without covenant? If people you admire praised a door I told you to avoid, would you choose my peace over their nods? If I whispered, lay that down for a season, would you release it or defend it? These are not tests to trap you. They are practices to train you. I am forming the reflexes that will keep you steady. My beloved child, abundance is not the enemy. It is the environment where your previous agreements are proven or abandoned. Blessing can lift, but it can also destroy if it becomes your God. Let nothing I give you be more precious to you than my voice. Keep worship uncluttered. Keep gratitude loud. Keep accountability close. People who love me more than they love your gift. People who will ask you questions that applause will never ask. Protect Sabbath. Do not let perpetual motion masquerade as fruitfulness. Pursue purity in thought when options expand. Choose humility in rooms where you could boast. Kneel often, not because you are weak, but because you are entrusted with something holy. And hear this bridge into what we must address next. The only way to hold abundance without being owned by it is to live from a healed identity. Orphans cling, heirs steward. Orphans prove, heirs rest. Orphans chase rooms, heirs are sent. If you try to satisfy an unloved place in you with success, success will never be enough. If you carry old verdicts, not enough, too late, unworthy, into new rooms. You will spend your blessing paying off debts that shame created. I do not merely want to place you in increase. I want to place you in sonship, in daughterhood, in the quiet certainty that you belong to me. We will rewrite those verdicts together, and as we do, abundance will lose its power to steer your heart. For now, return to your first love. Say out loud, here and now, you are my portion. Hold your plans up to me and let me breathe on them. Ask me to search you and to show you where applause began to sound like home, where money began to smell like safety, where options began to feel like calling. I will answer you gently and clearly. I will not shame you, I will shepherd you. You are standing at the threshold of a good land. Walk in with clean hands and a steady gaze. Keep your heart tender, keep your ear open. Stay small in your own eyes, even as I make your impact large, and the river will lift you without sweeping you away. My beloved child, lean in closer. We will not rush this moment, because this is where the fault lines shift inside you, where the old verdicts begin to crack and the true name rises. I have listened to the words that lodged in your chest like stones. Too late, too broken, too behind, too much, not enough. I have watched how those labels tangle around your choices, how they pull you back when you try to move forward, how they press on your chest at night when the room is quiet and your mind replays every failure as if it were a prophecy. I have seen you scan rooms to read faces for permission. I have heard you whisper apologies for simply taking up space. I know the look in your eyes when you smile while shrinking, and I will not leave you in that smallness. My child, hear the truth that outranks every opinion, every rumor, every careless sentence spoken over you in anger or ignorance or envy. You are not an extra in the story I am writing. You are my beloved child. You are my workmanship, shaped by my hand with intention, created for good things that I prepared before you noticed your own breath. You were not assembled out of leftovers. You were formed with foresight. I did not begin to love you when you started to improve. I loved you before you took your first step, and I am not changing my mind about you as you grow. I am revealing more of who you already are in me. I know the memory that still stings, when your best effort was mocked, when your name was severed from your value, when someone who should have guarded your heart became the voice that pierced it. Those moments wrote lines you started to recite beneath your breath. I'll just stay small. I'll never expect much. I'll prove them wrong. I don't need anyone. These inner vows have felt like protection, but they are really prisons that keep you rehearsing pain as identity. My child, I am here to overrule. In the courts of heaven, I do not consult the gossip of men. I lift a higher law over your life. I do not deny what happened. I deny its authority to name you. I am rewriting the verdict from not enough to my heir, from too late to right on time in my timeline, from unworthy to dearly loved and fully received. Listen carefully to how I heal. I do not erase your history as if it never mattered. I redeem it until it becomes a testimony, until the very places that bled become places you bless others from with wisdom and compassion. I will not wipe your memory clean. I will wash it until the stain loses its voice. I will teach you to read your story with my eyes. Where others saw shame, I will show you formation. Where others saw detours, I will show you doors. Where you saw abandonment, I will show you the curve of my wing as I hid you in the cleft of the rock. Joseph did not pretend the pit and the prison never existed. He learned to say, "What was meant for evil, I have turned for good." And that sentence is not reserved for him alone. I am weaving that same redemption through you even now. But healing requires agreement. Forgive, my dear one, not to approve of what was done, not to minimize the harm, but to break the chain that keeps dragging the past into your present. Forgiveness is how you return the gavel to my hand. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks your foot from the snare so you can walk on without tripping over yesterday. Bring me the names, speak them in my presence. Say, I release them from my courtroom. I entrust them to yours. Let me be your defender. When you hold on to bitterness, it fogs your mind and numbs your ear. It is difficult to hear my whisper when resentment is narrating your day. Release them, and you will notice clarity returning like morning light. Release them, and you will taste joy without guilt. Release them, and you will find your own name becoming lighter on your tongue. There are also labels you applied to yourself in secret, labels made of self-judgment for choices you regret, for seasons you wasted, for days when you knew better but did not do better. Bring those to me. I am not shocked by the worst of your days. I do not recruit perfect people. I transform willing ones. The cross was not a theory. Mercy is not a slogan. I forgive. I restore. I rebuild ruins and plant gardens in burned over ground. Stop punishing yourself as if your suffering could pay a bill that my blood has already settled. Receive what I have purchased for you. Let humility replace self-hatred. Let repentance replace shame. Let my kindness lead you back to the path without rehearsing the whole speech of blame and embarrassment. I am not interested in your performance. I am devoted to your becoming. Now let me teach you how an heir thinks and walks, while the breakthrough is still forming in the unseen. Orphans chase rooms, prove worth, hoard praise, and panic at closed doors. Heirs listen for the Father's voice, steward what is in their hand, open their palms, and wait for my timing that cannot be rushed by anxiety or delayed by envy. So practice this posture. Begin your day with your name on your lips, but spoken the way I speak it, without contempt. Bless your own name in my presence. Say, I am your child. I am sent, not self-made. I am held, not hustling. I am enough because you are my sufficiency. This is not pretend. This is alignment. Train your mouth to stop partnering with the old verdicts. Do not call yourself stupid, late, messy, as if these summaries were personality. Do not rehearse jokes that stab your own ribcage. Speak life over your assignments and over your body. Your words either build scaffolding for the house I am constructing, or they swing hammers against it. Ask me to place a guard over your lips when you are tired, and I will help you hold your peace. Ask me to give you language that fits an heir, language of gratitude, of patience, of authority without arrogance. Practice forgiveness quickly and thoroughly, not only toward others, but toward yourself. When you misstep, do not spiral. Return, kneel, admit, receive, adjust. This is how maturity tastes. Close the gap between falling and returning. The enemy thrives in the space where you run from me to hide your shame. Shorten that space until it disappears. Come straight to me and let me lift your chin. Let identity lead your decisions. Before you answer invitations, ask, is this for an heir or for an orphan? An heir does not enter rooms to be seen. An heir enters rooms to serve what I am doing. An orphan says yes to feel needed. An heir says yes because they are assigned. So check with me before you commit. Pace your steps with my peace. When opportunity knocks loudly, listen for my whisper. If the whisper is not there, the door is not yours yet, even if it is open. When criticism comes, do not contort yourself to satisfy it. Let counsel correct you, but do not be governed by every opinion that floats to the surface. Anchor yourself in the identity I am restoring, or you will spend your blessing renting other people's approval. Let identity also guide your boundaries. There are relationships that fed your orphan heart by giving you something to fix or someone to chase. As I rename you, those appetites will shrink. Do not resuscitate them. Do not reattach what I cut, for I am protecting the purity of your next chapter. Bless from a distance where I ask for distance. Draw near where I send you into covenant. An heir is generous but not available to everything. An heir loves well but does not abandon assignment to manage chaos. I did not author. Learn to say gentle no's. Learn to offer quiet yeses. Your yes is precious. It is not a public utility. Let identity direct your money. Give as I lead, not to quiet insecurity or purchase a feeling of goodness. Save and spend with me at the table. Resist proving your worth by what you wear or drive or post. Let simplicity be your strength. Let generosity be your joy. Remember, an heir owns nothing and lacks nothing, because everything is entrusted and everything is sourced in me. And let identity shape your secret life. Return to the secret place, not as a beggar pleading for scraps, but as a child coming home to eat. Sit with me. Be quiet without explanation. Let me rewrite your inner dictionary. What success means, what safety means, what family means, what on time means. Ask me to show you where shame still whispers, where fear still negotiates, where pride still seeks a stage. I will expose without humiliating you. I will correct without crushing you. I will tell you the truth, because the truth is how I set you free. My beloved child, hear my decree again and hold it like a warm stone in your palm. I am rewriting the verdict. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too behind. In me, you are chosen. You are wanted. You are capable because I am with you. You are an heir in your Father's house. What I am bringing to you is not merely an upgrade of circumstances. It is an upgrade of identity, a returning to the name I gave you, so that when the doors open you will walk through as the person I intended, not as the person pain tried to produce. Stay close. Let me finish the surgery. Let my naming echo louder than any memory. As you agree with me, you will notice. The bitterness loosens, the fear quiets, the striving settles, and the path ahead, though still unfolding, feels sure beneath your feet. This is how we carry what is coming, together with your hand in mine as heir and father, in a story where my love writes the last line. My beloved child, as I rename you, I must also purify your circle. Hear me clearly and hold this instruction like a key. Do not reattach what I cut. When I allow someone to leave, see it as heaven's intervention, not as a verdict against your worth. You are not being punished by absence. You are being protected by separation. There are people who were permitted to walk with you for a chapter, not for the whole book. When the chapter turns, sentiment will try to keep them in a scene I have already concluded. Do not stitch back together ties I am untying, not because you are better than them, but because I am better for you than any approval they provided. You have prayed for increase, for clarity, for peace, for breakthrough. Understand how I answer these prayers. I remove leaks. There are relationships that look harmless, but they are slow drains on your destiny, leaks through which your peace slips away. Leaks that expose secrets that should have remained in the sanctuary. Leaks that normalize compromise and dull your hunger for my presence. Leaks that keep you addicted to applause because you have been trained to perform for belonging. The enemy is subtle. He will borrow their lips to plant questions, to make you second-guess convictions that once felt unshakable, to call manipulation care and pressure love. I am not exposing this to start a war of personalities. I am exposing schemes so you can choose safety over sentiment. Remember the pattern I have written in the stories you love. Abraham and his nephew Lot stood side by side until the land could no longer support them together. Strife grew between their herdsmen, tension at the edges of their days, a friction that whispered, "We cannot keep walking like this." Abraham released Lot. He yielded the first pick. He chose peace over control. And then, only then, did I say, "Lift up your eyes. Look from the place where you are." And I unfolded promise over him in every direction. Separation preceded enlargement. Obedience created space for the promise to breathe. Do not miss the wisdom. Not every separation is abandonment. Some separations are doorways. My child, when I loosen a bond, it is because what I intend to entrust to you cannot be carried safely in a crowded wagon. Let me sharpen your discernment so you will not be tossed by confusion. Pay attention to the aftertaste of your conversations. Do you consistently leave certain interactions with your mind tangled, your convictions smudged, your heart heavy with a guilt that does not come from my spirit, but from someone else's expectations? Do you feel pressure, subtle or loud, to violate what we have settled in the secret place, to soften the lines I have taught you to hold, to downplay the purity you have fought to protect? Do you find yourself shrinking, laughing at jokes that strike your own conscience, ignoring red flags to keep the peace, dulling your light so you will not be accused of thinking you are too much? Do they celebrate your obedience only when it aligns with their plans, and punish your obedience when it disrupts their control? These are markers where confusion grows, where compromise is renamed maturity, where guilt is the leash that keeps you loyal, where you must become smaller to be accepted. Those ties are not covenant. They are snares dressed as friendship. I am not asking you to despise people or to carry suspicion like a shield. I am asking you to honor assignment over attachment. There are those I will join to you in covenant, like iron that sharpens iron, who will pray in the night with you, who will guard the secrets I give you and speak correction without envy. And there are those who are kind but not called to your inner room, who are curious but not safe with holy things, who love your gift but are indifferent to your soul. I am purifying the circle around you, not to leave you lonely, but to make room for my provision of right companions. Ask me for Jonathan-level friendships, for company that loves me more than they love the shine of your future. I will answer. Pruning is not cruelty, it is surgery. I cut to heal. I remove what siphons life so fruit can surge through fresh branches. This is why some conversations have become awkward, why some invitations stopped arriving, why some texts trail off into silence, why doors to old rooms feel heavy in your hand. These are not signs that you failed. They are signs that I am securing your future. If you keep forcing your way back into rooms I have closed, you will breathe yesterday's air and call it nostalgia, but it will smother the new I am growing in you. If you reattach what I have cut, you will carry weights that are not yours to bear, and when the blessing arrives, it will leak through the seams of misplaced loyalty. So let us move from discernment to obedience. Some of my instructions will be gentle. Make space, return keys, clarify boundaries. Some will be severe. Block access, step out of patterns that keep mocking your consecration. Stop explaining yourself to those who refuse to hear you. Do not perform your departure as a spectacle. Move quietly with honor, bless them in prayer, release them from your courtroom and entrust them to mine. If there is confession you owe, repent. If there is amends you must make, do so humbly, but do not stay entangled to prove you are gracious. Grace is not the same as access. Love does not always equal proximity. Ask me practical questions and follow quickly. Do I keep this number or let it go? Do I take this call or send a quiet boundary? Do I share this testimony or keep it between us until it ripens? Do I respond to that late-night message, or is it a door to an old snare? Do I keep processing the same wound with the same group? Or is it time to process with me and a wiser counsel who loves truth more than gossip? When I nudge, move, close the gap between conviction and action. Delayed obedience becomes disobedience at the speed of relationships. And as your circle shifts, adopt daily habits that keep you aligned while the visible is still catching up to what I have already decreed. Guard your morning altar. Tithe your attention before you tithe your words. Ask me at the start of your day, who do I call? Who do I bless? What do I keep sacred? Choose silence over oversharing. Keep accountability close. Voices who will pull you back to the center when old loyalties try to seduce you into old rooms. Mark your yes and your no with peace, not with panic. Treat every boundary as a fence around a garden where promise is growing. You are not shutting people out to be superior. You are stewarding a vineyard I have planted. Hear my decree concerning your relationships. In the throne room I have drawn a boundary line around your portion, and I will not allow what I have cut to stitch itself back to your destiny. No voice has the right to rename you. No demand has the right to override my instruction. No familiar tie has the right to sit in the seat I have reserved for covenant. As you agree with my pruning, I will fill the empty chairs with allies I have chosen. As you release old weights, I will place upon you the yoke of peace that fits you perfectly. As you honor what I close, I will open what none can close. My beloved child, I know it hurts to set down hands you once clung to say goodbye to patterns that felt like home even when they harmed you. But I am not leading you into less love. I am leading you into mature love. Love that is wise, love that is holy, love that knows the difference between covenant and control. Do not reattach what I cut. Walk with me through the sifting. Keep your eyes clear. Keep your steps steady. The promise is still unfolding, and these boundaries are not walls against joy. They are walls around it. Stay close to me, and the space I create will soon be filled with what I promised you. Companions fit for the journey, counsel that keeps you safe, and the quiet confidence that you are exactly where you belong, under the shadow of my wings. My beloved child, listen closely. You have agreed with my pruning. Now learn to walk as if what I promised is already set in motion, for it is. Acting like the breakthrough is real is not a performance for people to see. It is alignment with what heaven has begun. Faith is not a spike of feeling that rises during a song and fades by lunchtime. Faith is your feet, returning to the same place of obedience when you feel nothing at all. Faith is rhythm. Faith is repetition. Faith is what you do, not only what you say, when the room still looks unchanged. Do not confuse stillness in the natural with inactivity in my kingdom. Move with me in the unseen, and you will be rightly positioned when the visible catches up. Come back to the secret place, not as a visitor seeking a souvenir, but as a resident who keeps a key under the mat. Set an appointment with me that you refuse to break. If you have 10 minutes, I want your honest 10 more than a distracted hour. Sit, breathe, tell me the truth without editing it to sound holy. Say, Father, here is the fear that keeps wakening me. Here is the longing I feel embarrassed to admit. Here is the anger I don't know what to do with. I am not scandalized by your honesty. I am invited by it. Pour it out, and then be quiet. Let my presence wash the static out of your mind. Some days you will weep more than you speak. Some days you will sit in a silence that feels like a slow sunrise. This is real prayer, your heart uncovered in my light, and my heart steadying yours. Anchor yourself daily in my word. Read slowly. Do not race to finish a chapter, race to be formed. I am not testing your speed. I am shaping your sight. Take one line that reveals my character, a moment of my faithfulness, a promise I made and kept, a warning I gave to protect, and carry that line through your day like a seed in your pocket. When your thoughts begin to spin, return to it. Let it restrain the runaway horses of anxiety. Write it down in your own words in your journal, along with the date and one sentence about how I met you yesterday. You are building an altar of memory. When the wind rises, you will have stones to touch. Here is where you carried me. Here is where you corrected me. Here is where you made a way I could not see. Return to those pages when night gets long. Memory is medicine. Worship me in the small moments. Do not wait for a stage to lift your hands. Lift them while washing dishes, while waiting in a line, while sitting in your car before you walk into a meeting. Whisper gratitude for breath that enters and leaves your lungs, for the quiets I give you, for the strength that keeps arriving in little waves. Sing the song you know, even if your voice shakes. Praise opens windows in rooms that feel airless. It is not a distraction. It is how your inner atmosphere comes into agreement with my nearness. Guard your mouth, my child. Do not partner with curses that you speak over yourself out of habit and frustration. Refuse sentences that put chains on your own ankles. When you feel the old scripts rising, I always mess this up. It never works for me. Nothing ever changes. Stop. Put your hand over your heart and replace them with declarations that agree with me. Speak life, clearly framed as your agreement with my heart. My steps are being ordered. I am learning and I am growing. I am not late. I am on your timeline. This waiting is forming me. It is not wasting me. I am led by peace. I refuse panic. I do not need to be seen to be secure. I am secure because I am held. These are not slogans. They are the guardrails of your tongue that keep you from driving off into ditches of despair. Ask me to place a watch over your lips, and I will nudge you when your words begin to leak fear. Establish decision boundaries that honor the new I am building. Stop making panic moves. Anxiety is not a compass. Before you sign, say yes, resign, post, or pack. Ask me, is this movement peace or is it pressure? If pressure is shouting and peace is whispering, wait until the whisper becomes clear. Do not chase every door that opens. A door that demands you leave me at the threshold is not your door. A door that requires you to pretend to be smaller or to mute your convictions is not your door. If you cannot bring your integrity, your rest, and your prayer life through the entryway, it is a counterfeit. And stop performing to prove yourself to people who cannot carry your calling. Their misunderstanding is not your emergency. Let your obedience be your defense. Let your fruit be your explanation. If a decision has to be rushed, slept on, and then still feels like a knot in your stomach, place it back in my hands. I can reopen what you release. I will not bless what you grab in panic. Adopt simple rhythms that incarnate trust. Keep a weekly space where you cease from striving. Let your soul taste Sabbath even if your schedule is full. Take one day's portion and refuse to borrow tomorrow's fear. Fast with me, not to twist my arm, but to tune your ear. Even a partial fast, a weekly window where you push away lesser appetites, will resensitize you to my nudge. Tithe your attention before you tithe your money. A first fruits of focus at the start of your day, lifting your eyes before you lift your phone. And yes, steward your body. Rest like you believe I will still be God while you sleep. Drink water, walk outside. I formed your frame. Honor it as a sanctuary where we meet. Order your environment as if the promise is near. If I have spoken that I am entrusting more to your hands, then make room on your table. Clear clutter that whispers chaos. Prepare the documents, update the resume, sharpen the tools, finish the unfinished small obediences that quietly mock your confidence. Treat small tasks like practice for large stewardship. If you were holding the answer today, how would you care for it? Do that now in proportion. Pack your faith, not your presumption. You do not need to announce, you need to align. Practice generosity in the measure I lead. Give where I highlight. Forgive debts of offense you've been carrying. Sow encouragement like seed. But do not tip into recklessness to feel holy. Sit with me over your budget. Let simplicity be your strategy so that when increase comes, you are not dragged into a current of comparison. Success without me is more dangerous than failure. You will not be seduced by shine if you have learned to love quiet faithfulness. When discouragement prowls, respond with a liturgy of remembrance. Open your journal. Read aloud to your own soul the rescues I performed and the corrections I gave that saved you from cliffs. Thank me for boundaries I closed and for doors I kept shut that you only now understand. Gratitude is warfare. It unhooks you from the narrative of lack and reattaches you to my abundance. Finally, shorten the distance between conviction and action. When I whisper, move. When I say pause, stop. When I highlight a name to bless, reach out. When I ask you to say nothing, hold your peace. The unseen season is not a waiting room where you scroll your life away. It is a workshop where we build the inner frame to hold the weight of what is coming. If you leave your place, the blessing will come and not find you there. Stay at your post. Understand this. These instructions are not conditions you must meet to pry open my hand. I am not dangling your future like a prize over your effort. I am inviting you into agreement with what I have already begun. Your obedience does not earn the breakthrough. It positions you to steward it without shipwreck. The promise I have spoken is not fragile. In the courts of heaven I have sealed it with my authority. I am guarding what concerns you. No rival can cross the boundary I have drawn. No counterfeit can cancel what I have authored. No delay can erase what I have decreed. Walk with me as if this is true, because it is. And as you do, you will notice the hush in your chest, where panic used to shout, the steadying of your step where you used to lurch, the brightening of your horizon as morning comes. So return to the secret place, anchor in my word, worship in the small, guard your mouth, refuse panic moves, reject counterfeit doors, stop performing for those who cannot carry you. Practice resting, fasting, remembering, prepare your environment. Move when I whisper, pause when I quiet you. This is how you act like the breakthrough is real. This is the language of faith I understand. Stay close, my beloved child. The visible is hurrying to meet what heaven has already set in motion, and you will be found ready, under the shadow of my wings, steady in obedience and safe in my hand. My beloved child, draw near and let my words settle deep. The decree is signed. In the courts of heaven I have placed my name over your portion, and what I have ordained for you cannot be overturned by delay, by people, by hidden opposition, or by your own trembling. This is not a fragile hope that depends on the mood of a moment. This is a ruling. This is a settled matter in my presence. I am not trying out a plan for your life. I am executing what I decided in love, before you knew how to ask for it. The edges of your future are not fraying. They are being hemmed by my hand. You fear that you might miss it, that somehow one wrong step, one imperfect conversation, one late decision could undo what I have spoken. Hear me. I am a better shepherd than that. You are not navigating a maze alone while I watch from a distance with folded arms. I am with you on the path, guiding you by a whisper and a nudge, closing the wrong doors gently, opening the right ones at the hour ordained. When I open a door, no person can force it shut, and when I shut a door, no pressure can pry it back open. You do not have to be perfect. You have to be close. Stay responsive, stay honest, stay in step with me. I will correct your course as tenderly as a father who steadies a child learning to walk. Even your stumbles surrendered to me become part of the choreography of your deliverance. What has begun may not look dramatic to your eye yet, but do not mistake subtlety for absence. In the unseen, agreements are being drafted in your favor. Conversations are shifting tone when your name is mentioned. Hearts that once resisted are softening and warming without knowing why. I am whispering into the night seasons of those assigned to help you. Paperwork rests on a desk and will find the right hand at the right hour. A call you have not made will arrive with timing that makes you weep for joy. A door you thought belonged to someone else is being measured to fit you. The favor I am sending is often quiet. It travels undercover so envy cannot sniff it out and sabotage it. You will wake one day and realize the pieces have already moved into place, and the only thing left is for you to step through in peace. I have set a boundary around you. Do you hear me? A holy fence woven by my word, patrolled by my angels, reinforced by my zeal. Plots may be formed, but they will falter before they reach your gate. Weapons may be shaped, but they will fail to perform the desire of those who forged them. Words may be thrown like stones, but I will not allow them to lodge in the place where your identity lives. I am a wall of fire around what I have promised you, and a quiet glory within it. The prying gaze of those who root for your collapse cannot cross the line I have drawn. The counterfeit opportunities that glitter cannot slip past the sentry I have posted. I know how to keep what is mine, and you are mine. Release the picture of your future as something hanging by a thread above a canyon. That thread is not a thread. It is a braided cord of my faithfulness, my covenant, my presence, stronger than the hammering of years, stronger than the winds of people's opinions, stronger than the undercurrents of spiritual opposition. Hammers do not shatter an anvil, they wear themselves out against it. So it is with those who attack what I have authored for you. They will strike, they will grow tired, they will watch as what I decreed stands unharmed. Do not be spooked by silence. My silence never means my absence, and my slowness in your eyes never means reluctance. I work in sequences that your calendar cannot measure. You ask, "Is it moving, Lord?" And I answer, "Yes, it is moving precisely. I am not late, I am exact. I turn the hearts of kings when clocks are looking the other way. I call water from a rock when there is no cloud to forecast rain. I anoint in backfields long before enthronement is visible. I promote from prisons without asking the warden for permission. Your story is safe with a God who is not subject to other people's schedules. And you wonder still, what if I do not hear you clearly? What if I freeze at the moment I should move? Hear my reassurance. I have more than one way to get my child home. I will speak to you in the language you can understand today. I will send confirmations that feel like kindness, not tests you are destined to fail. I will use my word to anchor you, my peace to guide you, my people to counsel you, my providence to arrange you. Your task is not to perform fearlessly. Your task is to remain near, to tell me the truth quickly, to obey in small steps, to let me lift your chin when shame tries to make you hide. Let us address the accuser's favorite lie, that what is yours can be snatched by someone faster, louder, more noticed. My child, inheritances in my kingdom are not awarded by applause. They are assigned by covenant. No one can sit in the chair I have carved to your shape. Another's blessing is not a threat to yours. There is room enough in my house for multiplied portions without scarcity. Envy withers when you actually believe I have a place for you. Rest in that place. Celebrate the evidence of my goodness in others as a sign that I am working in the neighborhood of your life. Listen again. I have decreed your release from cycles that used to recycle you back into smallness. I have decreed that the wisdom formed in waiting will not be wasted, but will become the guardrails that keep you from the cliffs of pride when blessing increases. I have decreed that the pruning will bear fruit, that the right relationships will find you without striving, that the doors not designed for you will feel wrong in your hand and not seduce you by their shine. I have decreed that you will not abandon your post in the last minutes before dawn, because I will hold you upright when your knees shake. I am not watching to see if you will fail. I am committed to seeing you through. As for the battles inside your own chest, I speak peace. I speak a holy hush to the clamor of what-ifs. I place a quiet courage where panic used to be. You will notice it. Breaths that go deeper, sleep that returns, a steadiness in your yes and your no. This is the sign of a soul sheltered in decree. Let that rest be your testimony before the visible breaks open. And now, prepare to agree with me in a way that seals this knowing. In a moment we will pray, and I will declare over your season, with the authority I already exercised in heaven. Make room for this prayer. Quiet the room if you can. Place your hand over your heart. Open your palms as a sign that you are releasing control and receiving care. Whisper even now, I agree with your decree. Say, I refuse the lie that my future is fragile. I receive the boundary you have drawn, and I choose to stay close. This is not performance. This is alignment. This is not earning. This is receiving. My beloved child, the decree is signed. The ink is not wet. It is settled. What I have ordained for you cannot be stolen, cannot be rerouted beyond redemption, cannot be spoiled by what you fear or enhanced by frantic grabbing. Walk with me as if this is true, because it is. Look for the quiet proofs I am sending, a favor that surprises you, a conversation that opens gently, an inner confidence that feels new. Thank me for each one as it comes. Gratitude is the key that fits this door. Stay with me now. Enter the prayer not as a final flourish, but as a covenantal sealing. Let your heart answer as I speak over you. Agree, receive, and rest. I am guarding what concerns you. I am guiding every step, and the visible is hurrying to meet what heaven has already decreed. My beloved child, stay very near. Breathe in slowly and let the breath go, for I am closer than your next inhale. Place your hand over your heart again. Release your shoulders. Unclench the places that have been holding on for too long. Bring the situation that has kept you awake. Place it before me now, not tidied, not edited, not managed. Whisper their names, the deadlines, the fears, the longing you barely dare to name. I am here. I am listening. I am not in a hurry with your soul. Empty your hands. Let me carry what has been crushing you. Exhale control. Inhale my care. This is holy ground between us. Now I speak peace to you, not as the world gives, thin and temporary, but the deep, anchoring peace that comes from my presence dwelling within you. I quiet the storm of what if and what then. I still the scatter of your thoughts and gather them under my wing. Be still. I place a gentle weight of calm upon your chest. I loosen the knot behind your eyes. I order your inner world so that fear loses its vocabulary. As the scriptures say, those who trust me are kept in perfect peace when their minds rest on me. Let your mind return to me now, again and again, like a tide that knows its shore. I strengthen you, my beloved child. Where your knees have trembled, I pour resilience. Where your hands have felt weak, I lace them with my might. You will not faint in the last stretch. You will not collapse in the final 5 minutes before dawn. I renew your endurance, not by whipping you with duty, but by filling you with delight in my nearness. Joy rises as oxygen in your lungs. Hope returns as a steady drumbeat. You will not be carried by adrenaline, but by my sustaining grace. Remember, as the scriptures say in many places, I complete what I begin. I do not leave foundations uncrowned with finish. Bring me the offenses and the hidden stains. I do not shame you, I wash you. Release the bitterness that has soaked into corners of your heart, the memory that replays and tightens your jaw. Name the one who wounded you. Bring them into my light. Forgive as an act of warfare, not to excuse what was wrong, but to break the chain that still tugs at your ankle. I am not asking you to feel a certain way. I am inviting you to hand me the debt, so I can judge it rightly. I cleanse you where your own words have cursed your steps. I cleanse you where envy has whispered. I cleanse you where compromise tried to court you. I wash with mercy that does not smear but removes. As Scripture teaches, if you come into my light, I am faithful to cleanse and to restore. Receive this washing now. Let it be enough. I sharpen your discernment for relationships, for counsel, for partnerships and pathways. I bring my light into the circle around you, every face, every offer, every invitation. I remove the glitter from counterfeit doors so that you do not mistake shine for substance. I put a holy pause in you where pressure has been trying to push you through the wrong gates. I confirm the ones I have chosen to walk with you in this season with a peace that does not need to be argued into existence. I expose alliances that would drain your inheritance, and I free you from the need to explain your boundaries. Do not reattach what I have cut. Do not stitch back ties I am untying. I am purifying the circle around you. It is not cruelty, it is care. I pour courage into you for obedience. I shorten the distance between my whisper and your movement. When I say wait, you will rest without panic. When I say go, you will step without delay. When I highlight a name to bless, a word to hold, a door to ignore, your heart will be soft and your feet ready. You do not need a spotlight to validate your yes. You need my presence, and you have it. Obedience will become your joy again. It will feel like belonging, not bondage. As the Scriptures say, to obey is better than sacrifice, and I am giving you a willing and responsive spirit that delights to say yes. I hedge you round about with protection from sabotage, spiritual and social, external and internal. I frustrate plots spoken in whispering rooms and dismantle traps set in places you cannot see. I do not allow the prying gaze of envy to track the root of your favor. Confusion will not cloud the moment of your release. The schemes of the enemy will misfire. The nets will break under the weight of my presence. The stones of slander will fall short of your heart. I assign angels to stand watch at the borders of your promise. As Scripture assures again and again, I am a shield around those who take refuge in me. Abide in this refuge and know you are guarded. Now, my beloved child, agree with me out loud. Let your own mouth become the pen that signs your consent to my will. Speak these declarations with your heart engaged, and let them mark this hour. Say, the shift has begun. My eyes will see what my spirit has sensed. Say, I will not quit before dawn. I will be found faithful at my post. Say, I will not reattach what God removed. I honor his pruning as protection. Say, I am under the shadow of his wings. I choose closeness over hurried striving. Say, I refuse panic moves. I follow peace, not pressure. Say, I am being prepared, not punished. My waiting is wisdom, not waste. Say, I am an heir, not an impostor. My portion is signed in heaven. Say, I will steward increase without losing my first love. Let your own ears hear the sound of your agreement. Heaven honors these alignments. Earth will witness their fruit. As the Scriptures say, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Let your tongue be a river of life for your own soul. Receive now Scripture-weighted affirmations sealing this moment. I am with you. I do not abandon my own. I go before you, and I am your rear guard. I lead you beside quiet waters and restore your soul. I guide you along right paths for my name's sake, even when the landscape looks unfamiliar. When you lack wisdom, ask. I give generously without finding fault. Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the right time you will reap if you do not give up. No weapon formed against you will reach its intended mark. Those who dwell in my secret place are covered by my shadow. He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. I am not experimenting with your life. I am finishing what love started. So hear my final declaration over your season. This is your confirmation. What I begun when you could not see, I am now advancing into the open. The decree is not pending, it is settled. The timing is not fragile, it is precise. The path is not random, it is ordered. Your identity is not on trial, it is secured in my Son. I command shame to release its grip and drift like smoke. I command clarity to rise in you like morning. I command rest to take root. I command courage to stand up straight inside your chest. I declare relational sifting complete according to my wisdom. I declare doors realigned. I declare resources redirected. I declare that the lessons of the hidden season will save you from the snares of the abundant season. I ordain that increase will not intoxicate you, it will amplify your adoration. I decree that you will remember me in blessing, just as you learned to seek me in lack. You will not be seduced by shine. You will not be swayed by crowds. You will not be tangled by flattery. You will be steady, humble, grateful, guarded, and generous. Now breathe again. Feel the quiet weight of my hand on your shoulder. Let your heart rest in the knowledge that I am not only able, I am willing, not only near, but involved. Stay close. Keep to the rhythms we have established. Secret place, slow word, guarded mouth, peaceful decisions. Watch as my subtle proofs multiply, small favors that stack into open doors, quiet confirmations that become loud testimonies. You will look back on this moment and say, that was the hour my soul knew the decree was real. If your heart agrees with this prayer, seal it with a small act of faith. Write in the comments, I will stay, or I receive this, or I agree with your decree. Do not do this to serve an algorithm. Do it as a witness to your own soul, as if signing your name to a covenant we forged together in this holy space. And if you need ongoing encouragement in this journey, connect with this house, subscribe, and turn on notifications, not as a habit of hype, but as a choice to remain in a community that speaks life, protection, and alignment over you. My beloved child, I bless you now. The shift has begun. Your eyes will see what your spirit has sensed. You will not quit before dawn. You will not reattach what I have removed. You will walk in the decree I have signed, and I will finish what I started as you stay close to me. Go in my peace. Stay under my wing. The visible is hurrying to meet what heaven has already decreed for you.